AIM-listed Cadence Minerals, EPIC code KDNC, has taken a major step forward today with news of a materially significant reduction in mining costs at its integrated iron ore project at Amapa in Brazil. Chief Executive Kiran Morzaria joins us once again to tell us more. Good morning, Kiran. How are you?
Good morning, Alan. Very well, thank you.
Good to hear. So, last month, of course, we spoke about the staged development strategy and recommissioning of the Azteca plant. But this huge reduction, I mean, nearly 37% in mining costs, really does propel Amapa into the Premier League of iron ore producers. Can you explain how this came about?
Well, Alan, you're absolutely right. This is a major step forward for us. We invited one of Brazil's largest mining contractors to requote on a mining plan, which was from the 2024 December updated PFS. And because Amapa has such low strip ratio, has minimal blasting requirements, and in addition to that, in this quote, we provide the fuel, so there wasn't a double taxation. They were able to deliver a much more efficient cost structure, and that brought down our mining costs from around $17 a ton to $11 a ton. That's saving about $33 million a year, or around $500 million over the life of mine.
So, Kiran, still on the Azteca plant, last week your social media showed offtake financiers on site at Amapa. Firstly, how does the news today impact on that visit? And secondly, when can we expect news on any offtake agreements?
Yeah, thanks, Alan. So firstly, this study is in relation to the larger 5.5 million tonne DR grade product. So this is in relation to reducing the costs and, of course, increasing the NPV of that project. The offtake partners and potential financiers were there to review the smaller Azteca plant, which we want to bring into production much quicker. Now, although it doesn't have a direct impact, what it does do, it allows us, and it shows our potential offtake partners and financiers that we're always focused on cost competitiveness, and that's what we will continue to do. In relation to when we would expect, obviously the site visit occurred, which was really successful. In relation to providing exact timeline, I can't provide that right now, but I still want to be able to provide some sort of update in September in relation to the offtake discussions and any finalised agreement that we reach by then.
Okay, thank you for that. So, of course, when we spoke last month, we discussed the installation licenses and the final permits for Amapa. Can you provide an update on these and also a likely start date for production?
Again, that's all related to the Azteca plant and its financing. So what we discussed last month, and when we updated in terms of Azteca financing, to start the production, we'll need around 4 months of timeline, which is effectively a 2-month timeline to finish one study, which is a revised archaeological study, and then a further 2 months for the federal authorities to approve that study. After that point, then we have around a 3-month time for commissioning. Now, if you looked at the announcement that we made, the financing in relation to be provided by the off-takers and will be in relation to completion of those studies. And therefore, we would look to, from when we get the financing, it's around 4 months to get the licensing completed, and then a further 3 months to get us back into production. But we are moving forward really well. We've seen really good progress from the offtake financiers who have so far been making positive noises in relation to financing this project and taking it into production.
Excellently as well. I would imagine the news today will speed things up further still, but of course that's just my view. But Kiran, thank you for that. On to your other projects. Of course, Evergreen Lithium recently announced that exploration had started at the Leonora Goldfields project in Western Australia. What can you tell us about this and other Cadence investments, including, of course, Sonora?
Yeah, that's right. Evergreen has begun exploration in the Leonora in Western Australia, which is a highly prospective gold district. It's encouraging to see the project gaining momentum, but of course we'll wait on when Evergreen provide any announcements to the market, and we'll announce them. More broadly, Cadence has obviously got its investment in Evergreen Lithium, and then of course it's got its current investment in the Sonora Lithium project, which we're going through a process of an international arbitration case against the Mexican government to to basically either get those licenses back or, of course, receive appropriate compensation for those licenses. So yeah, we're those are the other two assets that we've really got our fingers in. But our primary focus is about Amapa and getting that into production, and eventually bringing a very low cost, highly competitive iron ore project into production at 5.5 million tons per annum.
Okay, well, Kiran, before we go, can you provide some pointers? Given the news we've just discussed, can you provide some pointers for investors to look out for in the coming months?
Yeah, certainly for Amapa, investors should watch out for updates on the offtake and financing discussion. That will be where I'd see the first point to happen. So once we've reached a binding agreement with the off-takers, which will finance the Azteca project, that will be announceable, and we'll do that. After that, there'll be progress in relation to the installation licenses. After that, once the installation license is granted, we'll begin the recommissioning of the Azteca project, and then production, which will be that will be a really big milestone for us in achieving production, 65% concentrate production from the Azteca plant.
We'll be champagne corks will be poppy on that day for sure. And of course, Kiran, we wish you every success as Amapa moves closer to first production. Kiran Morzaria, Chief Executive at Cadence Minerals, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alan. Always a pleasure.